That was tough.
Yeah.
That was tough. These are a lot more fun to do when we win. Man, we just rewatched that and it was bad. It was really bad. Yeah, I'm trying to find any positives to discuss, and it's really hard. I'm trying to I even went back and looked at our keys to victory from last week, and so one of them was running the ball and running it and keep running it. So I think they actually did run the ball a decent amount in the game, 23 times.
I think so.
They threw 38. So that looks like it looks like we threw a lot more, but I think that had a lot to do with that. We ended up being down, and then we almost were forced to just throw it a lot. Like that one drive we just saw at the end where they threw like 8 times and didn't run at all because they had to. But I mean they did run it. They ran it decently effective, 4.2 yards a carry. But again, and then the other one, actually, interestingly enough, the other key we had was stopping Derrick Henry. And if you look, we did decent against Henry. He only had, I think it was 71 yards on 21 carries.
Yep.
But again, to me, the biggest keys was, we did also talk about Caleb getting the ball out of his hands early, getting some completions, getting some rhythm. And I feel like we did that on the first 2 drives. But I think what really killed us was those first 2 drives not scoring the touchdowns. Both of them we were inside the 10-yard line with the first and goal. You have to be able to put it in the end zone. And those really killed us because, if we're up 14-0, that makes it a much different game. But, yeah, we were up 6-0, and then Baltimore came in and scored the first touchdown, and now we're already down 7-6. And then for some reason, I feel like after we got that first touchdown, the offense just kind of I don't know, they sputtered. So I looked at some of the drives. So you look at the first 2 drives. 13 plays, 64 yards on the first drive, settle for a field goal. 11 plays for 61 yards in the second drive, settle for a field goal again. And then after that, 3 plays for negative 18 yards, unacceptable. 6 plays for 32 yards, we missed a 58-yard field goal. And that was the first half. And then the second half, first drive, 3 plays for 7 yards. And then the last drive of the third quarter and the first drive of the fourth, that was our last touchdown drive. That was a good drive.
Yeah.
And it started with Swift running the ball, got a couple of first downs easy for us. Caleb made a couple nice throws, and then we were able to punch it in with Swift, I believe, in the end zone. So that was we had 3 good drives, I guess. Because, then after that, you had the 2 plays, 0 yards with the interception, and that one's completely on Caleb. You can't make that throw. We started the drive with inside our 2-yard line. We ran the ball the first play. One guy got a yard or 2. But right there, you just got to know to throw the ball away. You got to get rid of the ball there. You can't make an interception. Especially the defense was playing at least. Yeah. Even though they were giving up yards, and I know it was a backup quarterback, but we did have 3 cornerbacks out. We had a lot of injuries, and I thought the defense at least held their own, even though they weren't great. But then again, you can't throw that interception there. That put us in a really tough spot. They scored the touchdown, and it really put us behind the 8 ball. So I think that was a really tough play. Yeah. But then again, it goes back to a few things that we've been harping on. For one, offensive or penalties in general. The penalties were huge.
Oh yeah, dude.
Honestly, to me, there was a couple of guys that really stood out having really bad performances. I thought one of them was Theo Benedict.
Yeah.
And the thing is, he gave us a little bit of a spark when he first replaced Braxton Jones, but ever since then he's been kind of iffy. And then this week, I'm looking at it. He gave up 3 hurries, 3 pressures, 2 pre-snap penalties as well, which we cannot have. But yeah, his rankings too overall. Now for PFF grades, obviously take PFF grades with a grain of salt. But now he's ranked bottom, 5-10% overall. Pass blocking is not very good. His run blocking is okay. But yeah, Theo Benedict's been a Achilles heel, and we're not getting Braxton Jones back anytime soon, and not like he was much better. But yeah, we're gonna really have to just deal with what we have. More negative injury news this week. Dominique Robinson hurt his ankle, I believe. He's going to be out for a few weeks. Shamar Turner, rookie defensive tackle, tears his ACL. He's out for the season. Zacchaeus had a knee injury, but I think that's going to be okay. He's day-to-day. And then Luther Burden had a concussion. I don't know can you pull up any new news on Burden? But I know he left with a concussion. So, and he was finally starting to show some signs. So, yeah, it's just been really bad. I mean, the game was very, like I said, not a lot of positives to talk about in the game itself. But beyond that, now you're having more injury concerns with the Bears. So, yeah, it's just not good. Not good. It looks like Booker is going to be back, which would be key because we definitely need some pass rush. We haven't really gotten a lot of pass rushing. One other scary stat I saw, I don't know how important it is, but in our 3 losses. In our 3 losses, we've only created 1 turnover as a defense, and we're allowing 36.3 points per game. And then in our 4 wins, we've had 15 takeaways, and we've only allowed 19 points per game. So, again, it doesn't mean that you have to get a turnover to win a game, but the way that the Bears are, the way that their recipe for winning seems to be, is that we're going to have to find a way to get a turnover.
Yeah. Are we really just eking through these games?
I mean, we've harped on the fact that this is still a work in progress. This is not a Super Bowl favorite team by any means. I understand that we want to be Bears fans and try to stay positive, but especially on our on our reels, we've had a lot of, like I said, hey, I love being a Bears fan. I love the positivity by some of our fans, but you got to keep it real at times too. And just because we pick them to lose a game, this doesn't mean that it's negativity. It's just sometimes it's just being real at the end of the day. Yeah, I don't know. Another thing I think we need to talk about, and again, I want to start by saying this doesn't mean that I am down on Caleb as a whole. This doesn't mean that I don't believe that Caleb Williams will eventually be a really good quarterback, a great quarterback. It doesn't necessarily mean that Caleb Williams is not going to be able to put it all together and become a star at some point. But right now, from what I saw last week, it was a little worrisome, to be honest with you. I said it in last week's podcast. Start the first couple drives, just simplify it, let him get the ball out of his hands quickly. Let's get some first downs and get him in a rhythm. And it worked. The first 2 drives are great. The only thing we needed to do and we didn't do was put the ball in the end zone, and that obviously hurt us. But no, after that, it just seems like we went back to almost more just kind of winging it. And, and I get that Caleb liked to do that a lot at, USC, and it worked for him there. But this is the NFL, and he and Ben Johnson are going to have to sit together and figure out a way to continue what the good things were in the first couple drives in that last drive of the third quarter that bled into the fourth where we got the touchdown, because the rest of the drives were, again, not very good. I saw a lot of bad habits from Caleb again, with inaccuracy, and just some bad decision making. Also, the intentional grounding.
Yeah.
I mean, if there was a stat of what quarterbacks have the most intentional grounding, I'd be surprised if he doesn't lead it. Seems like he has a couple every week. So, no, those are things that he has to get better at. I mean, you cannot. I mean, a couple of those were really costly in the fourth quarter when we were trying to make a comeback, and then again. I'm going to keep saying it. He does do some amazing things. Like that throw that he had to DJ Moore in the fourth quarter down the sideline was unbelievable. Only a couple quarterbacks can make that throw. So to me, it's just he's got to get better at the simple things and just footwork, planting your feet, trusting your throw, not staring at your first read. There's a lot of things that he still needs to improve on. And I'm hoping that he can put it together. We have an opponent coming up in Cincinnati that, I think we could all agree Justin Fields is not very good. And that offense went in there and scored 39 points on this Bengals defense. So, we're going to have to really put it together against this team. There's really no excuse for not being able to.
What do you think about that missed field goal before the second half?
That is very interesting because, I don't know if it was with Phil or with Chino, but we talked about that. Like, do you somehow keep 2 kickers on your roster. Like, I wouldn't, but this is why I think almost you want to keep Moody, and obviously everybody else, let me know what you guys think. You guys could we can have a discussion about it, but my thing is Cairo is obviously very accurate from within 50, 55 yards, right? Which is awesome. I mean, he hit 3 field goals Sunday, but Moody, the reason he got cut by the Niners was he was being ineffective. He wasn't making kicks, but he's always been known for the strong leg. So he can actually give you a chance to make these 58-yarders, like the one that Cairo left short at the end of the first half. But again, I'm also not going to really put it on that, because at the end of the day, the Bears just were bad in all aspects of the game. Again, the defense, I'm not giving it a good grade, but they did what they could based on having a bunch of guys out. But
you saw flashes though, right? At least I think on the running game, I like when you saw like Swift like kind of do these awesome.
Well, yeah, it's just that when you don't put the ball in the end zone to start the game, and you put yourself behind the 8 ball, and then the Ravens do get the touchdowns, and now you're playing from behind, and then none of that matters, and then you had to see them abandon the run and everything else. And look, and honestly, I actually talked to Phil about this the other day. Caleb, it wasn't like Caleb was being pressured or engulfed in pressure in this game. He only took 1 sack in the game. I thought the offensive line, as far as pass protection, did okay, other than Benedette, and we talked about that. But again, it's just some things with him, just missing throws, not setting his feet good enough, just little things that he to me are a little bit alarming. And again, things that I hope he can fix, especially with going into a game against a soft defense next week.
Yeah, Rome did pretty well too. Look. 114 yards.
Yeah, Rome did good. I thought DJ Moore was a little bit more involved. We talked about that. One thing I'd like to see more of, again, it just doesn't make a lot of sense. The first drive, Colston Loveland caught 2 of his 3 passes. All 3 of them were in the first half. And then it just seems like we abandoned that idea of just, quick. I mean, the first play, for crying out loud, was a play action, and they found a short pass to Loveland and made him make plays. I mean, I just feel like that's what we should be doing more of. It seems like Caleb seems to be doing a good job right now when plays are scripted, or when we're doing just quick passes and letting the guys go out and run. It seems like we're trying to make big plays develop down the field. It's just not working.
It did. So later on that evening was that Chiefs game, right? And every fucking single time, Kelsey just is open. He blocks for a minute, and he fucking just gets out of the block, and he's right there. He's open. And every time I see that, I'm just like, man, like, why can't we be doing that often?
Yeah. No, and Phil said the same thing too. He's like, somehow that Mahomes throws 2 interceptions early in that game, and they find a way to win. Yeah. And again, obviously a lot has to do with the Chiefs having a really good defense as well. And obviously they played against a backup quarterback in Mariota, but we played against a backup quarterback. So there's no excuses. Next man up. I mean, the defense has a lot of injuries, so you have to – obviously you have to – I think you have to – when you have a lot of injuries in the secondary, you have to make sure that you stop the run, which they did. They stopped Henry pretty good. And bend but not break, which I thought they did. Obviously, it would have helped if we were able to come away with a couple of turnovers like we have been, and we weren't able to. So I think that also affected us. But at the end of the day, there was no excuse. You're going against a Ravens defense that's allowed tons of points and yards to other defenses. Now, albeit they did get Roquan Smith back, so that makes a difference. And I think they had a couple other guys out when they were giving up all those points. But still, it's still a beatable defense that at the end of the day, if you score those 2 touchdowns early, then we're talking a much different game.
It just got ugly, man.
Yeah, and it's crazy because when we did the podcast, it was on Tuesday, which is usually when we film them. And when we did it on Tuesday, the overwhelming news was that Lamar was going to play. So obviously we made our selections and our picks of the game based on Lamar playing. And funny enough, then on Saturday, all of a sudden he gets ruled out. And again, we had a chance to go in there and change our pick and be like, hey, we're gonna pick. I didn't backpedal because I was like, you know what, I mean, we should win this game, I guess now, but I want to see it. I'm not gonna over here and just overall just change my pick. I want to see them actually come through. And again, it was just overly a very overall disappointing performance. And again, they got a lot of work to do next week or Sunday, I should say, to clean it up.
Yeah. Like, how much do you think Caleb is
so
blaming here?
I think the offense is definitely to blame for this loss, in my opinion. And Caleb, as the quarterback, has a lot to do with it. I mean, again, you can't when you credit the offense, right? And Caleb plays well, give Caleb a bulk of the credit, which usually happens when you're a quarterback. So, in my opinion, when a team loses and the offense is culpable, yeah, everyone is at fault, including the offensive line, Theo Benedict especially. But Caleb's the quarterback, and you take, and the one thing I'll credit him is that he does go in the press conferences and he does put the blame on himself. He says, "Hey, I made it. There was one throw that he didn't make, and the throw that he threw the interception. And he's like, I got to make a better throw. That was not a good throw." So I give him credit that he takes the accountability, but at the end of the day, you can't make that throw. You're down by 3 points at that time. If you don't have it, you live to fight another day. You punt the ball, and the defense had been doing a good job holding him to field goals, but yeah, you just can't make that happen. After that interception happened, then pretty much the game was pretty much over. So again, I think the biggest keys to this game, the two opportunities to score a touchdown early that you don't have, and then the interception. Another thing I will say, and I'm sure fans will bring this up, so I'll bring it up, but I don't think it's why we lost. When we were down at the end there, we were trying to make a stop. You had the third down conversion to DeAndre Hopkins, which, it was a pretty bad penalty. It was pretty obvious that he grabbed the face mask.
Yeah.
And if that goes back, then, the Bears, probably get the ball back and have an opportunity. Doesn't mean that anything's going to happen, but again, you can't blame the loss on that. The Bears shouldn't have even been in that situation to begin with.
You mentioned it last week, or where we need that leap. Where do you think we see him?
Yeah, that's the thing is I keep telling the Bears fans, especially the ones that follow us, the ones that reply on our messages, is like we got to pump the brakes. And again, I'm not saying this and pump the brakes as in a negative way. It's just we're building something here. It's going to take time. Last year, from where we came last year, we've already made a lot of improvement into this year, but it's not just going to come in one season, and obviously Caleb is still a work in progress. Yeah, would it be great if he was out here balling out and just putting up numbers and looking amazing every game? Yeah. But I think at the end of the day, he's learning a new offense. It's still with Ben Johnson and predicated on him changing some of the things from last year. I still think he's made some improvements from last year, but at the end of the day, simple things like throwing the ball away, simple things like not doing intentional grounding multiple times in a game, and then just again things with mechanics, bad turnovers like throwing the ball out of your own end zone, and those are things that just are unacceptable, and he needs to improve on. With that being said, again, he still does some things that pop out of the screen and that make you make you say, wow, like the throw, a couple of throws to Odunze and the one throw to DJ Moore. So again, not time to panic on Caleb. I think he's going to be fine. I think, though, that when he does have a bad game, it does need to be brought up. We do need to talk about it, and obviously him playing well is a huge key to the Bears winning.
Yeah, man. As Bill Belichick says, we're on
Cincinnati. Yeah, no, and with that being said, like we flipped the page because again, there's really not much to harp on with this Ravens game. It just was an ugly game. So sometimes you just got to forget about these kind of games. They happen from time to time. And another thing too is these games happen to everybody. Every team will have a stinker like this once in a while. So even though we need to talk about it and we need to talk about the importance of Benedict playing better, Williams obviously playing better, the defense just doing what they can, with the injuries.
The penalties is probably the one thing that
it just absolutely kills us, especially the pre-snap penalties, because they put you behind the eight ball, and when you have 3rd and 8s, 3rd and 9s, 3rd and 10 and longer instead of 3rd and 3, 3rd and 4, especially an offense that's still learning and a quarterback that's still kind of up and down a little bit, you need to limit those. So that's a great point. Obviously talking in this game coming up, this is really, really important. Okay. So again, nothing's changed. The key to me again, is going to be running the ball, just like it was against the Ravens. Many reasons why. If you look at the Jets' recipe for success, I can't believe the Jets won still. But their recipe for success was running the football and trying to keep the ball out of the Bengals' offensive hands, right? And you could tell how important it is because even though they were able to do that, the Bengals still scored 38 points.
Yeah.
Jamar Chase balled out. Chase Brown balled out. So Flacco's got this offense playing great. So, when it was Browning at quarterback a few weeks ago, I already had this penciled in as a win, like easy win. But the way that this offense has looked since Flacco took over, it's kind of scary. So the Jets, like I said, what they decided to do is run the ball, and they were able to do it effectively. Breece Hall, 18 carries, 133 yards, 2 touchdowns. Justin Fields, 11 carries for 31 yards. Isaiah Davis, their backup running back, 7 carries for 65 yards. So they had a game plan, and it was run the ball, try to keep the ball away from the Bengals, and it worked. Because at the end of the day, the Bengals are going to throw the ball on us. They're going to, especially with all our backups out there. So we have to try to run the ball, not turn the ball over, and try to possess the ball as much as we can to keep it out of their hands. Second thing is going to be getting pressure. I think we could all agree Flacco, as good as he's looked, he's still a statue back there. He doesn't move very well. So if we get pressure, we got Austin Booker back this week. If we can get any kind of pressure and make him get the ball out of his hands quickly, I think the key is going to be have him get the ball out of the quickly, and then once the ball is caught, whoever catches the ball, the defense needs to run up and try to make plays, make a turnover, punch a ball out of someone's hand. That's been the recipe for success this year anyway.
Yeah.
And I think that's going to be the recipe for success because if we don't get turnovers, and more importantly, if we don't get pressure on Flacco, then he's going to pick us apart. And I mean, if Tyler Huntley was able to sort of do that, you can only imagine what they're going to be able to do. And obviously, Chase Brown was also able to run a little bit better against the Jets. So also stopping Chase Brown is going to be huge too. But yeah, my key is going to be run the ball, pressure Joe Flacco, make him get the ball out of his hands quick, cause at least one turnover. I mean, obviously, we looked at that stat where when we don't get turnovers, we're allowing 39 points a game and losing every game. So cause at least one turnover. And then more importantly, the offense, I think the key is score 30 points at the minimum, like bare minimum 30 points, because I don't think the way that our defense has been playing with all the injuries that we have and the way that Flacco and their offense has been going, I think if we score less than 30 points, it's going to be hard to win this game.
30?
30. I mean, look, the Jets had to score 39 to beat them, and again they scored 39, and that's Justin Fields as the quarterback, and the Jets scored 39. So honestly, there's no excuse for the Bears not to be able to put up points.
Oh man, that's gonna be hard.
Yeah, but I mean, we've been able to score. Other than this Ravens game, we've been able to score 25 or more, 21 or more most of the games. But yeah, I mean, this is a bad defense. Caleb needs to step up. Caleb needs to play better. Offensive line needs to play better. We got to keep running the ball, and we got to score 30, I think, to win this game.
You know, the part that annoys me the most about this loss is that this was like we became like their get right game, right? It's like that like it sucks, man. Like they're in like a losing streak, and they fucking kill us.
Yeah,
it's like
But again, it's the same. It's the same thing. They could have scored 30 easily against them if they scored touchdowns instead of field goals. And now if we look at this game, it's the same thing against the Bengals. How they're going to score over 30 points is simple. Don't settle for field goals.
Yeah.
Because if you have 8 scoring drives, but you settle for 4 field goals, should I say, like, if you have like 5 scoring drives, but you settle for 4 field goals, then you're only scoring 19 points, right? But if you have 5 drives, you score 4 touchdowns, then you got 31. So the key is going to be, getting the ball in the end zone. And this is a defense that you should be able to. I mean, Breece Hall even threw a touchdown. I mean, the Bengals defense was basically giving touchdowns away. Yeah. So those are my keys. I mean, turn the ball over at least once against their defense. Pressure Flacco, make him get the ball out quick. Try to rally to the ball and force a turnover or two. And then on offense, run the ball, keep the ball, the time of possession on the Bears. And then when we do have scoring opportunities, get them in the end zone.
Did you notice any like kind of like plays that stood out that kind of like why they do that? Or
I mean, the coaching is what I would say is this. I mean, offensively with Ben Johnson, I would say is, look, if Caleb and the offense is having more success with the pre-scripted plays and the plays where Caleb is taking one lead, skin the ball out of his hand, short passes, running, then we got to keep that going, keep him on a rhythm. Because again, when we looked at those highlights right now, it seemed like after those first 2 drives where we had success and we got the 6 points, we just abandoned that, and then it was again free form offense. Now again, a lot of that also had to do with pre-snap penalties after that, putting us behind the 8 ball, and then we had to kind of ditch the run and throw. So in that case, obviously not Ben Johnson's fault, not Caleb's fault, but again, it's just we have to find a way to keep him in rhythm, keep him, and keep moving the ball, and then keep it where we have third downs that are makeable, third down and 5, third down and shorter, so that we can pick up these first downs, keep these drives going, and then again score the touchdown instead of settling for a field goal.
Yeah, man. Fucking no passing touchdowns. It's fucking awful.
Well, that's 2 weeks in a row that we don't have a passing touchdown. So, I mean, obviously, and that's another thing I want to bring up is that, Chino and I brought this up last week. The Saints win kind of felt not fluky. It just felt weird. Like I left that. I was at the game, and I left that game obviously happy we won, happy with the way the defense played and all the turnovers, but the offense just was not that great. And we talked about that. Caleb wasn't that great. Offense wasn't that great. We could have blown them out by a lot more, and we didn't. And I feel like that kind of spilled into the Baltimore game, where the offense still looks sloppy and things like that. So, yeah, like I said, I'm almost excited to see what Ben Johnson and has in mind for this next week, because if they look at the tape, they see what the Jets were able to do, and obviously what they weren't able to do, then I'm hoping that pieces it together. Because I'm telling you right now, this podcast obviously has been depressing enough, but if they put up an offensive effort like this against Cincinnati, yeah, this is going to be almost like alarms going off, like we're panicking, we're worrying. I think right now, I just chalked this up to a bad game and a bad Caleb game, but I don't. Like I said, if this happens again against Cincinnati, then we might be having a much more desperate talk next week. Man, I actually gone back and forth on this one, especially after this bad performance, and frankly a kind of underwhelming performance against the Saints. Again, call me a homer, call me crazy. I just have a feeling Ben Johnson and the team's going to put it together this week. I feel like they have enough. I think they hopefully have enough tape and negative tape in the Ravens game to kind of see what has just happened. I mean, and not only that, but just they should be able to see how that the Bengals were able to obviously the Bengals losing to the Jets, I should say, how the Jets were able to get it done, and the Bears should easily be able to kind of find some takeaways in that and be able to win. Again, I said if the Jets can beat the Bengals, we should be able to, no doubt. I think. Again, offensive line has to clean up some things. We have to really clean up the pre-snap penalties. I think Caleb will play a little bit better, considering this is a worse defense. I think the run game will step up. And honestly, I think that we will get some pressure, hopefully with Austin Booker or with somebody, on Flacco and hopefully cause a turnover or two. And, I mean, the over is 52.5, so obviously they're not expecting much defense, and neither am I. But, yeah, I think the Bears will get to the 30-point mark, which is what I felt like we need to win, and I think we'll win the game 34-29. So that'd be my pick. I think we're finally going to see the Bears be able to actually get touchdowns, in this case 4. I think they'll be able to turn Cincinnati over at least once, maybe twice, and I think that'll be the key, even though, like I said, we will give up a lot of yardage, we'll give up some touchdowns, but yeah, I think they'll pull off the win.
They're actually favored for the first time here.
Yeah, I mean that kind of scares me a little, but again, I mean, like I said, I think a lot of this also might have to do with the fact they just lost to the Jets, so it really kind of looks like a bad loss.
Hey, shout out Aaron Glenn
on their end. Yeah,
fucking first win.
Shout out JF1, man. I know.
Oh, man.
I know a lot of Bears fans still have a lot of love for Justin. So he may not be a great quarterback, obviously, but I don't know, he's a good kid, and so yeah, I was happy to see him be able to pull that win off against Cincinnati. But again, yeah, but also Cincinnati now is playing for their season too. Mm-hmm. So that's another thing I didn't bring up. So they win that game, they may come in this game a little bit more relaxed. But them losing that game to the Jets, they know that they have to win this game. Mm-hmm. So if you're the Bears, you have to match that energy.
Definitely.
And the Bears obviously coming up flat against Baltimore, you would think they're going to come out with that fire.
One idea, they should have like kind of like some penalty system, whatever. Like fucking if you commit a penalty, it's like, I don't know, throw a number how much you would have to pay.
Yeah, it's like a bounty gate, but the opposite. It's like, so instead of getting paid to do something good, you get punished for doing something bad.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like I said, it's gonna take a team effort. I mean, you have so many injuries now. Robinson and Turner are out as well. Like, man, the defense is really gonna need some help from the offense. So like I said, these are the Caleb games, right? You're playing a defense that's beatable. You didn't have your best game last week. Your defense is banged up. It's time to have a signature game. So if I strongly believe that he's going to come through in this game. I don't know why. I really think he's going to, and I think they're going to pull off the win. But again, if they don't, then we're going to be back here next week having a much different conversation.
Oh my God. I'm excited too, and I'm a little nervous at the same time.
No, I mean, I'm definitely nervous. I mean, like I said, us being favored by 2.5 points, the Bengals losing this game the way they just did, all the injuries we have. But again, this is a beatable, very beatable defense. And if we're able to get any kind of pressure on Joe Flacco, it should be a team that at least we can get a couple sacks on and hopefully get a turnover or two. Yeah, that's another big thing. Trey Hendrickson is questionable, so not having him out would be massive. For being able to have Caleb have more time. Does it say anything on here about it? So last
status.
Updated yesterday, Zach Taylor relayed Monday that Hendrickson is considered day-to-day with a hip injury. Okay, so he did play against the Jets. He re-aggravated the hip injury, but he's day-to-day. So day-to-day, you have to assume that he's going to play. So yeah, we're just going to have to make do. But yeah, I mean, like I said, I still think we're going to put up enough points. I think we're going to actually get the 4 touchdowns this time around. And I think we'll win that 34-29. Yeah. So yeah, I mean, we're gonna have to deal with these guys, Jamar Chase, T. Higgins. I mean,
who do you think
that's what's scaring me right now is their offense against our defense and our defense being so banged up. But again, it's going to be the importance of getting a turnover or two, and then being able to keep possession of the ball long. No 3-and-outs, no pre-snap penalties, running the ball effectively, and making some big plays down the field, which they should be able to do.
Who's got to guard him, you think?
Holy shit, man. I mean, I would assume maybe they might have Stevenson play him a little bit, maybe Nashawn Wright. Mm-hmm. But I mean, those are our options now. I mean, it's very bleak with Gordon and Johnson both out.
It was a pretty good night of sports yesterday, don't you think?
Yeah, they were saying that it's like only once a year that you get to watch every sport in one day. Mm-hmm. So like NFL, Major League Baseball, NBA, NHL, all on the same day or something like that. So I think because the World Series is still going on right now. Which that game was insane. Dude, I fell asleep at like the 13th inning.
Dude, same.
I missed it.
I stuck around for the 15th, and I'm like, dude, I can't. I need to go to sleep.
I was so bad. I wanted Toronto to win, and I woke up and I saw. I'm like, God damn it, dude! And it went to 18 innings.
Yeah, dude. Oh my God.
So, dude, I wonder what time that game ended here.
No, by the time I went to sleep, it was the 15th, and it was like basically midnight. Like,
okay. So I must have gone to bed earlier than that. Yeah, I thought it was later for some reason, but it probably didn't finish till like 1:30 in the morning.
Yeah, I mean, it was definitely an entertaining game to a point when you're like, all right, dude, just somebody.
I just wanted the Blue Jays to win, but yeah, it is what it is.
But we were flipping back and forth to the Bulls game. That was a good win.
Yeah, I mean, and again, this is a Chicago sports podcast. I know it's been dominated by the Bears, but I mean, there's a reason why.
We're gonna check.
Cubs are eliminated. And again, I know we got some Blackhawks fans as well, and don't get me wrong, I have some things lined up for Blackhawks talk and a couple of guests probably in the future where we're going to talk some Blackhawks. Because frankly, they're starting to play better and win. The only problem is they're not on TV unless you have that app. So I'm gonna have to probably get in and start really digging in to watch some of their games because they look a little exciting and they're putting up some wins as well. But going back to the Bulls, yeah. So 3-0 start. But I don't know. Phil and I were talking about the Bulls the other night, and it's almost like, Bulls fans on here, let me know what you think. But the 3-0 start, it's great. It's fuzzy or whatever, but to me, it kind of seems like fool's gold. Especially that Kobe White hasn't even played yet. But the one thing I'll say that's great about this team is that they're definitely more fun to watch than even the teams from 2 years ago, last year, where you had Zach LaVine or DeMar DeRozan dribbling the air out of the ball, holding the ball to the end, and Vooch, and just I don't know. It was a very boring offense to watch, and they weren't winning games anyway. So it was nice to see that they finally went with a little bit of a younger team. And honestly, in these last couple of games, they've been actually really spreading the scoring. I think they had 8 or 9 guys with double figure scoring 2 games ago. Last night, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, 8 players with 10 or more points again. So it's fun to see that they have a young team. They're fun to watch, and they're figuring it out. Is this something that's going to be sustainable? I don't think so. Mm-hmm. Phil and I have discussed that for us, the ultimate goal, to look for would be for them to finally not be in the play-in, make the 6th seed or higher. Mm-hmm. So, to me, that's their ultimate goal. I don't think that any other goal should be really talked about. I don't think there's any chance of this team really doing much more than that. But hey, if they can get to that point, then we can at least have something to look forward to in the future years. Reasons and honestly, they've been winning without even Kobe White. So it's going to be interesting to see when Kobe gets back on the floor, what that's going to do to the team and how that's going to change everything. Because obviously he takes more shots, and that's obviously going to change the dynamic of the team spreading the ball around like they have been doing. And then another thing I want to talk about is Josh Giddey. Obviously, he got paid. I think $120 million for 4 years in the offseason. So it was going to be interesting to see how he would come out this year. And he's been playing pretty decent. Again, not very athletic. He's got his same issues that I've always thought. Not very athletic. Doesn't finish very well around the basket. Not the best defender, so he tends to get into foul trouble. But one thing I have been noticing is that he's at least been giving the effort out there on defense. So that's at least something. And then he also has been, even though he's not the best finisher or most athletic player, he's been, taking it to the basket. He's been trying a lot harder. He's been getting to the free throw line. So that's been good to see. And obviously starting off this season, he's only playing 31 minutes and he's averaging 19, 9, and 6. So yeah, he's off to a good start. Obviously, we'll see, and we'll see if he's going to be worthy of the contract that the Bulls gave him. Mm-hmm. But for right now, they're at least fun to watch, and let's just see what happens. I'm not taking the bait that this is going to be some crazy team because we're 3-0. I think let's just be happy that they're 3-0, and let's again keep hoping for improvement on some of the younger players. Josh Giddey hopefully earning his contract. Kobe, when he gets back, hopefully the team gelling and playing good together, and then like I said, pushing for that 6th seed. And avoiding the play-in, which seems like the Bulls are in every single year. Mm-hmm.
So they're playing the Marquee app. Is that what it is? No.
So the Cubs play on the Marquee. The Bulls play on the CHSN app. So CHSN, I think you either pay, I think it's $20 a month to watch one team. So Bulls, Blackhawks, or White Sox, and I think $30 a month to be able to watch all 3. But I don't have to pay because I have this Bulls season ticket, so I have free. Mm-hmm. I have the app for free, but it's only for Bulls. So if I wanted to watch another team, obviously I'm not going to watch the White Sox as a Cubs fan, but the Bulls obviously I'll watch, and then obviously if I want to watch the Blackhawks, which I might just have to here at this point, the way that they're playing.
Mm-hmm. Back in the day, dude, you just turn on fucking local fucking TV and it's there, dude. Now
everything is an app now. Yeah, it sucks. I miss when they had what is it, the NBC Sports Network, and you used to be able to watch the Bulls and Hawks on there, but I don't know.
CSN.
It's greed. Yeah, CSN. No, it's this app. But no, I think, like I said, with the Bulls, believe me, we're gonna dive into the Bulls a lot more in the future. We'll have bigger segments that we discuss them and talk about games. But obviously, it's early. And again, I just wanted to at least tell people, hey, we are going to talk about the Bulls. We are going to have guests in here to talk Bulls together. But as for right now, like I said, hey, 3-0. Let's be happy that they are, but let's pump the brakes a little. I don't think it's anything to get too excited about. And but yeah, they're more fun to watch. And let's just see where they're at next week.
So we just started a TikTok like maybe 3 weeks ago, and there's definitely some viewership there, and very thankful for like the comments that come in, and it's a very lively page that we got going on.
Yeah, and I want to stop for a second and say, like, to anyone who's subscribed, we obviously appreciate it, man. Like just like we keep it on our podcast. Like, what we could tell you is, hey, we don't have the big names, we don't have the superstars, but our podcast is going to be. We're real, man. We're real Chicago fans. We come from the heart. We're going to be honest and truthful. Like, hey, we're not always going to be positive. We're always not going to be, rainbows and flowers. We're gonna give it to you harsh. Sometimes some harsh criticism on even our stars that we love. But hey, it's all love at the end of the day. That's what we're here for. But yeah, anyone who's already subscribed on TikTok or Instagram, we obviously appreciate you guys, and we want to grow this with you guys, and we need you guys too. So yeah, all these reels and stuff, we appreciate you guys coming back at us. We love the dialogue, we love the trash talk, and let's keep it going, man.
We have some like developments and little segments that maybe we have like a little game show for you, because you're really good with stats and stuff, and maybe one day we'll hit up like a bar, and then we'll kind of just like,
oh man, believe me, man,
we'll challenge you.
I'm very in trivia, man. Anyone who wants to, especially Cubs, Bulls, Bears, you guys want to. You want to line something up like that where I do like a trivia with a fan or something? I'm in, man. Let's go. Let's do it.
How's your fantasy team doing?
So, let's see. This year, I got the 4 teams. And let's see. Right now, it's my best team 6-2. And then I got 2 teams 5-3. And then my worst team is 4-4, which is our league, actually, that we're together. That one I was 4-1 and sputtering now. But, hey, I'm at 500 in all 4 leagues, man. I'm not complaining. I'll take it.
Yeah. I mean,
what about your 2? 5-3 and mine and ours?
Yeah, and then I got 1 loss in the other one. So, I mean, I'm sitting pretty.
7-1?
Yeah.
Damn, okay.
But, I mean, so speaking...
But we're not gonna try to pretend like that league's anything close to our league, but yeah.
Yeah, speaking of the whole fantasy stuff, and the controversy, the big controversy that's going on right now with the sports betting stuff, it's crazy, man. And we've discussed this many times about how I'm thankful for the fact that like we've come a long way with sports betting, and now it has become legal, but when the NFL is part ownership with ESPN, and then ESPN has ESPN Bet, and like it's a little sleazy, man.
Yeah. Well, the thing is funny. Like ever since gambling got became legal, Phil and I have been talking about this for ages. Like, and obviously he knows, that I prefer not to have a betting app on my phone, just because I feel like if I did, I'd be literally 24/7 betting on everything. So I prefer to just not do it. But I agree. I really worried about it affecting the integrity of sports, like players, betting. And it's funny because a lot of people would tell me, oh, why would a player bet? They're already millionaires. But we're seeing like players are betting. And, I'm thinking I was thinking about this today, like maybe one thing is, hey, why not only be able to, like, especially the player props, because I think those are the ones that cause a lot of these issues. Mm-hmm. But why not only do player props on superstars? Because the superstars are all making 50, 100 million. Mm-hmm. Like they don't need, and they're not going to risk their reputation or their career over betting on a game or throwing a game. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think a problem becomes that is all these prop bets, and then these players that are just like a bench player who makes a few $100,000 a year, they're going to be way more susceptible to throwing a game or whatever to try to get rich. You know what I'm saying? So like maybe limit it to just superstars for the prop bets. Maybe that changes something. I don't know. I mean, they got to think of something because it is getting kind of weird now.
Yeah. So I want to jump back to this Ravens game, right? So if you can kind of just quickly summarize what exactly technically is the issue, that the whole thing with Lamar about the whole investigation thing, because we talked about this earlier, and you said that there was a reason for it, and
no, I think the reason it's become a controversy is because of betting, because I think a lot of people, especially earlier in the week, like when we did our podcast and we assumed he was playing, a lot of people, the money was going on. I mean, obviously the money going on if money was going on the Ravens, that didn't change. Obviously they won, but I'm saying like prop bets, like, you know, how many points were going to be scored, you know, Lamar bets, things like that, where now all of a sudden everything changes on a Saturday, especially because I think I told you on Friday, teams are usually supposed to give a final designation on a player by Friday. And they were like, oh, Lamar practiced in full. He looked great. Everything looks to go. And then all of a sudden Saturday, it's like, oh, wait, he actually didn't, and he's going to be out. And then so I think it just caused a lot of people, you know, to scratch their head a little bit.
I don't think you know, like the NFL is going to admit that though. They're going to have some, like, I think they had some other like reason why.
Yeah. Well, remember last year, you brought it up. Last year you had the first game of the season with Christian McCaffrey. Same thing. Friday the team was like, oh, he's good, he's going to play, and then Monday, literally like an hour before the game, he's out.
For the season.
Yeah. Like it made zero sense. It was really, really weird. But yeah, I mean, again, gambling is fun, but again, at the end of the day, you're always gonna like question things now. Especially when there's like human error or the referees make a questionable call or things, you're always gonna have to like scratch your head and wonder. So
yeah, that's why it's called sports entertainment.
Right.
You know, and you know, now you can bet on the WWE now. You know,
wow.
Like that's the dumbest shit ever.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's stuff like that kind of like, you know, it makes me wonder, like they're incentivized to make money. You know,
right? It's still an entertainment business at the end of the day.
Yeah, I mean, like that's why, like, you know, they're crucifying, you know, like Chauncey Billups and all those guys because like. They were actually, I think,
but the Billups one is really weird because, like, I was talking about my friend. It's like, do we really know for sure? Like, did he know that the games were rigged and he was duping other people and he was in on it, or was he himself duped? Like, did he go to one of the games and he, hey, did you have fun? Like, hey, you know, bring some of your friends, call some of your friends. And, like, maybe he didn't even know, and they all got fucking duped. Like, that's going to be to me, that's going to be the interesting thing to find out is if Billups was actually, like, in the know and they were paying him under the table to have other people lose, or if Billups himself just went to the games and brought some of his friends and they all just got freaking gypped, you know?
Well, we're gonna find out because if they buck his ass or whatever, he's talking for sure.
Yeah, until he gets hung until you know, he kills himself.
Oh God. Yeah, man. I don't know, man. Like we've always talked about it. We've always joked around about like how, like, you know, like shit's rigged from time to time. You know, like situations like this, like it kind of makes you kind of like wonder though. You know, it's like is anything ever like fucking?
Well, you saw the Terry Rozier one, right? Mm-hmm. Did you see the reel where they showed the plays? There was a game where he had to have a certain amount of turnovers or whatever. He literally was like dribbling the ball off his foot. Like then the next play, he dribbled it up and he like just gave it the ball to the other player. I'm like, dude, it's like so obvious that he cheated. You know what I mean? Like I think he's screwed because when you see the highlights of that game, it literally looked like he was throwing the game away. So
well, yeah, it was like that. Was that one ref?
Donahue.
Yeah. They even fucking made a 30 for 30 on his ass.
No, dude, and that's been happening forever, man. Think about it. It's crazy. Now it's basically illegal, though, which is even crazier.
It's sad, dude. It's sad. I mean, like, sports is like it's a pastime that, like, people enjoy, but like it's just shit like this is kind of just like, it makes you kind of wonder. It's like, is this another like fake wrestling situation? Like, fucking people are just acting and fucking, like there's a lot of manipulation involved, and I think about that a lot, really. Like when you get calls like fucking like the other night, like especially with like the Hopkins one where like that was clearly face. I mean that's a one thing, but
no, it's not even bad calls. Sometimes it's no calls.
Yeah, like no, like the Steelers game, if you remember, where fucking there was a guy on the Packers that was like clearly offsides.
Yeah,
and I
don't understand how they you can't review that, and you can't,
dude. And they call that left and right all the fucking time. Yeah. But there's just one time where it actually happens, and you can see he's like way past the line.
Obviously it's been talked about in nauseum, and again, I'm not a Chiefs hater. I know I have some friends that are. I don't hate the Chiefs, but they definitely get calls. I mean, they had the one game where they went the whole game with 0 penalties, and like I find it hard to believe that in the entire game they didn't commit 1 penalty. It's just kind of weird,
Well, no, I mean we've talked about how like like it's known to like they
favor like
they favor
best teams
like the cash cows, like the and that's fucking that's annoying as fuck, dude.
Yeah.
So I mean, ESPN Bet app, please sponsor us. We will delete this video, I promise.